Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Rant talk show series on CSI, a new talk show series we're starting on CSI Network. So before I go into details about what this series is about or what this talk show is about, I first would like to apologize for not having probably the intro music ready, which sets the rules and regulations for this talk show. But hopefully I'll get the music before this video is released in the next 24 hours. So in the meantime, let me just read out the rules and regulations that I sent to the artist, to probably sing or rap to. So which are, welcome to Rant Talk Show, where we talk with no limit, chat with no limit, express with no limit. We just say it how it is. You want to come to it, bring your thoughts to it, while others learn from it, take away from it, no fight from it, no heat from it, no judgment from it, no losing from it, and we all learn from it. The unspoken common society issues. So, I'm still waiting for this to come true, and these are the rules we're going to be playing at the beginning of each video that's been released on Rant Talk Show series on CSI Network. So, why Rant Talk Show series? Listen to this, the words that come out of my mouth, what I speak of, and not this. Don't watch this. Color, okay? This is a message to all whites. This is a message to all blacks. And this is a message to all Asian. And this is a message to all backgrounds and to the world. Wherever you come from, this is a message for everybody. And Rant Talk Show series is being set up for everybody. Anyone can get involved, and it is for us all to rant about common society issues. Okay? So I will be able to explain more details to you now. Why Rant is being set up and the purpose of Rant. So in this video, I'm not going to share any other video on this, because if I do, there's a lot more I can go into details about why Rant is being set up, and I don't want to waste too much of your time. I will try and make this video not too long, but I have to go into every details that is important as to why this platform is being set up and why this series is being set up, aside to what we already have on CSI. Okay? Please stay and watch till the end, because we will learn a thing or two from this. And if you feel like you don't want to listen or watch or hear about the problems we're facing in our society today, you might just be part of the problem as well. So let's start to support each other by starting from somewhere. Okay? So, in regards to everything going on around the world right now, if you noticed, we've set up CSI actually about 2 years ago, and from then, this idea have actually been something I've been always trying to fight for and looking for ways, to make change somehow. And if you look at the CSI logo, okay, there's a hand on it with a microphone, and thinking out of the box, speaking out of the box. The whole idea that was in my head when I came up with the CSI idea, I just didn't think it was something a lot of people or anyone would buy into then, but it was a struggle, and it was something deep down my heart that I know I have to be a part of a change. I know there's some changes that needed to be made in regards to, my personal experiences and what I was going through in life and such, which I'll go through a little bit about it in a moment with you as well, So I needed to fight for a purpose and fight for a change. That's when I came up with the idea, the name Common Society Issues. CSI, Common Society Issues, and to talk about a lot of the unspoken common society issues. As you see, it has been a very, very, very tough journey, I have to say, and be honest, because I've not been able to afford to actually bring this to life, for the last 2 years. But guess what? Due to the current pandemic, the last 3 months, I've actually been able to start filming and start talking about the show and what the platform is about then. And I've been getting a lot of feedback and response from this, and it's been really, really working out well. Why is that? I believe it's because a lot of people are at home and I've been able to get everyone's attention now while everyone is at home during this pandemic. And a lot of big change, a lot of growth, and a lot of change actually since then, And why that is, you see, let me explain one part of this, okay? Like I said, I'm not going to be sharing any videos or anything on this, but for later and future videos on Rant episode series, okay? The whole idea of CSI, if I started this talking about issues in the society and me being black and who I am, I know it's going to be very, very, very difficult journey for me, okay? And I know it was going to be long road for me. So these are one of the issues I face in trying to make something happen. And I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with this, if you're black or any person of color or so in this country, and I have to actually walk around how this is going to work. It's not simple. It doesn't come out easy for me being black and being able to have a say or being able to be a part of change or be a part of something good in Ireland, And the funny thing is I came up with a Rant episode, Rant series talk show. This talk show just about 4 weeks ago, believe it or not. And I can show you the proof of this when the flyer was actually done. When the flyer for this was actually done. And I'll tell you why. It's because I know if I were to rant being a black man and being who I am, the definition of a black man, we're loud, we're arrogant, we're somehow a disease, I don't know, there's just so much negativity that goes on around being black and such a thing, It'll be difficult for someone like me to be able to express issues I'm going through actually on a platform that I created, which is Common Society Issues. And I know it'll be difficult for me to be able to get that message out there to people with a platform that is for everyone. So the CSI one, I wanted to set it up as something that is, more professional. And whereas we have the Rant Talk episode where anyone can come in and let loose. Come in and let loose. Talk anyhow you feel like. Express your heart, without worrying about backlash or without worrying about what anyone else might think, because you want to talk some point. You want to make a relevant point about an issue, that you just want to rant about. So I'll give you an example. If we were to invite the T-Shock to come on our platform, if he was on a CSI TV talk show, he will address the nation or address the people the same way he would address the nation and the people, on a professional way, But if he comes on Rant talk show series, he's gonna have to lose tie and just feel free and talk to us and talk to the public, address the public the same way you would address your partner at home or the same way you would address your family, and just let loose, when you want to make a free point. So this is what Rant is all about. We're here to rant. So I don't want any white men or white women or anyone out there thinking, oh, he's just too loud, or he's just ranting, or he's just shouting or so. I can't change my nature. This is who I am. When I'm passionate about something or about a topic, I don't know, I'm just automatically loud and I can't help it. So if I have something I'm passionate about, I want to let loose. I want to be able to speak about this without worrying about what anyone else might think, or without worrying about, someone thinking I am an animal, or without worrying about someone thinking it's just too loud or so. So why don't you learn? Why don't you listen from this type of people? I want to feel free. I want to be able to express what hurts me. I want to be able to express what's killing me inside. I want to be able to express what I'm suffering from. I want to be able to express what is going to hurt the future of our young ones, or our future, the future of the young generations. I want to be able to express all of anything in life without worrying about how professionalism I should be, or how professional I should be. So, let me rant and hear me out. A lot of people have been in touch with me and contacting me asking me, BJ, why haven't you said anything about the Black Lives Matter in America? What's happening in America today and all? You see, I'm very, very, very devastated about what's happening in America. I'm very disappointed with what's happening in America, and I'm sure you all are. Everyone is very sad. This is sad times for everybody in the world. This is the sad time for the world, the sad time for blacks of the world, and I'm not sure sad time for white people in the world as well. Because I'm sure not everyone is buying this idea of, the police brutality in America. So I haven't said much, or not at all, because I have been really, 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 really heartbroken. It made me very sad. It broke me down, and I just didn't even know how to go about making a video or addressing this issue, because if I speak, I want to speak about solution, not just to roar and protest or rant. I want to rant. This is about rant, but it has to be something that is meaningful. It has to be something that will lead to a solution. That's why I haven't come out to speak yet. And today, I will talk about a proposed solution by the end of this video. So with everything happening in America right now, like I said, it's a very sad moment for us all. And if we were to look at the situation, if we were to look at the situation of what happened in America, if this were Ireland, George Floyd would still be alive today. If this was UK, George Floyd would still be alive today. In fact, if this was any part of the European Union, George Floyd would still be alive today. And why is this? Because of the gun laws. It's as simple as that. And I know my Irish people. I know my Irish people will fight for this. They would have jumped on any police that is doing any wrongdoings like that. So George Floyd will still be alive today. And yes, the protest going on in America right now is a well needed protest in regards to this issue going on. But I don't support the looting and everything going on negatively that's overshadowing what everyone is trying to fight for. I don't support the looting at all. That's my opinion in this. But this protest have to go on until some changes actually take place. Until we know the future of our kids are safe. And this is very, very important. And this is what brings me to talking about the protest that's been done around the world as well. And I'm not going to comment about the protest being done in any part of the world other than Ireland. Ireland. Why is this? Because I'm Irish. I live here. I grew up here. I have problems too. Yes, fair enough with everything happening in America right now, and we all supporting America and all. America is number one in the world, as we say. Number one in technology, number one in Hollywood, the movie industry, everything we can think of. We all look up to Americans. Anything that happens up there, we know, we follow, and even in Ireland, I know one thing for a fact, we always try to claim some American artist or anyone that comes to Ireland. Oh, a part of him is Irish, oh yeah, he was born in Ireland, oh, he's Irish and all that, But the thing is, 2 protests have gone on in Ireland so far. One on Sunday and one on the bank holiday Monday. Okay? And I would like to talk about this. The first one on Sunday, which was done in the American Embassy. I don't know if I should share my opinion on that or so, but I don't see why that was important. Especially in this period of lockdown. George Floyd is American, not Irish. He is black, African American, not Irish. It's good that we're supporting America, like you said, and don't get me wrong or so. Okay? We also have black Irish. And I'm happy, like I said, with the protests going on in America right now, with everything going on, America being number one, because this actually helps us in Ireland and around the world, black people in Ireland, you know, on all around the world, you know, to be able to fight and maybe protest for the issues that they're also facing. But we all leave this aside and only protest for George Floyd. This is where my concern is. And on Monday, the one on Sunday wasn't as big as the one on Monday. And I totally understand the reason why this protest is being done. You know, I've seen many videos. I've seen even, you know, people in Ireland that have families in America that are also mixed race or that are blacks or white or so in America, you know, that are trying to fight for the right thing and stand for the right thing. You know, everything is being done for a good cause. I can understand the purpose behind the whole protest and everything. Please don't get me wrong and don't misquote me, please. And I know the organizers did a fantastic and amazing job, okay? And I'm 100% sure that they were not prepared for this themselves, and they did not have any expectation that it was going to be as big as it got. But sometimes we have to think of what we're trying to achieve, what our goals is. You know, why was the protest being done in the first place? You know, is that, yes, I totally understand we're doing it for Black Lives Matter. And so, this is something I've been trying to fight for the last 2 years. If you check CSI video, for example, that I released 2 years ago, like I said earlier, the logo with the hands and stuff, a video that I released on Common Society Issues, I had it there, you know, to fight against discrimination, hate, crime, and stuff like that. Racism and hate crime, you know, because it's a lot of issues I faced growing up in Ireland. So I understand that, like I said, with the protest, but why was it mainly only done for George Floyd and for Black Americans? I see a lot of protesters and a lot of posters as well that shows the Irish life matters as well and everything. But let's be honest, after the protest that was done on Monday, and then what? What was next? What did that resolve? That is where my question is. The protest that was done in Ireland on Sunday and Monday, what did that resolve in Ireland for Black Irish or for the Irish people? You know what I think? And you know what's funny? On that same day, I was with 3 of my Irish friends and they were all laughing about the same thing as well. That you know what? They were saying, now this is not my comment, this is my friend's comment. And they were saying, BJ, 90%, 80 to 90% of the people that went to that protest didn't even go there for that protest. They saw an opportunity to leave their home in this isolation, in this lockdown period, you know, to go into the city and say they're protesting for Black Lives Matter. So this is what really, really, really hurts me. That we have people faking this. We have people not doing this for the right cause. So how can there ever be any solution? So this is why I said, or I try to say, I do not support the protest that went on in Ireland. Because a protest without resolution makes no sense. And during this protest, in a period of lockdown, we should have thought really, really, really deep about it. am not trying to say the protest was a bad idea or anything like that. Please don't misquote me. But what I'm just trying to say is there was no point of it without any resolution. So, and I am not blaming the organizers. Honestly, you guys did a fantastic job, and it is an amazing job, for people to be able to come together and, fight for the good cause, fight for the right cause, fight for a change. It is really, 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 really an amazing thing you guys did. But it was just maybe too much people showed up, and I know you guys did not expect this. So I'm sorry if he backfired somehow, with probably you having people sending you guys negative comments, and maybe you have people maybe contacting you saying this shouldn't have been done in the period of lockdown, which they may be right, they are right, in some ways, but we should always think of our safety as well. Let's not forget coronavirus is still out there, and let's just not forget about that and try to be safe. So for a future protest or for anything like this, we always have to have something behind it, something that will follow up that would actually lead to a change. And hopefully you understand where I'm coming from, So on to the next one. Rant. It wasn't my plan to actually talk about racism in the first episode of Rant series talk show, but with everything going on in the world right now, we have no choice but to actually talk about this now and actually tackle this issue. You know what's funny? Like I said earlier, I came up with this idea just about a month ago, and about 3 weeks ago, I started filming this episode, which a good friend of mine. I filmed this intro actually about 3 weeks ago as well, and I did some few more episodes with a friend of mine. So I had to actually put that aside and redo this intro again. So, and now to start this with Black Lives Matter, with racism topic, and with racism experiences in Ireland. Because if we don't talk about this issue, how can we learn from it? How do people know what we're facing and what we're going through? So racism is a very, very, very big thing in Ireland today. It is a very, very big thing in Ireland today. And I think it's something that we all have to come together and tackle this issue, one way or the other. And in a way, don't quote me wrong on this, everything happening around the world today and in America, it's a good thing, actually, I think. It's a good thing for this to happen. And I think this is actually going to help the cause of what I'm actually trying to do as well. Believe it or not, racism is one of the biggest issues I'm trying to tackle here. See, I'm a single father. And I haven't seen my kids now exactly 1 year today as well. And if I say this has something to do with a judge in court, would you believe me? No, probably not. Then, 1 year ago, 2 years ago rather, I came up with the CSI idea. And 1 year ago, when this issue happened in court, okay, where I felt like the judge looked at me as an animal, very disgusted, and the way he kicked me out of the courtroom. And my last words to this judge was like, you know what you've just done? You've just taken away 2 handsome boys away from their father. And it is not over yet. And ever since then, I've never seen my kids again. This episode is not the episode I'm going to go into details about this. But ever since that day, this gave me the adrenaline to want to make this work and to make my dream come true. My dreams of setting up common society issues and talk about issues and fight for the future of my kids. And in the process, help the mother of my kids with the mental health issues or whatever she's going through in regards to, alienating children from their father, which the system is supporting fully. So in a nutshell, I just thought, I can't fight the system. I know this for sure. I couldn't fight the system, but instead of fighting the system, I've got to show them what the problem is and what's happening. And this is why I invested so much on camera equipment, building a studio to do all these things. And imagine everything happening around the world today, not knowing this is actually going to happen. But I've started this journey 2 years ago, a year ago, and I've got to fight for the future of my kids, man. I don't know. I've just got to fight for the future of my kids. I am a loving father, and you have no idea how painful or what pain I've been going through. That is just to speak about. Okay. If I was to go into details about my racism experience in Ireland, you know what's funny? I love the old Irish way of racism, honestly. Seriously, oh my God. Because growing up in Ireland was totally different to nowadays. Growing up in Ireland, Irish people were very, very direct, outspoken back in the day. Oh my God, I've heard so many bad comments or the way I've been attacked. In regards to racism, I've been in so many different fights as well. I have stab wounds all over me, my hands, my back. I could have been killed, but I survived. And I'm here today. Back in the day, people were very direct. Oh my God. Go back to Niggerland. You look like under the bed. Because under the bed at night is dark, so you're that black. You look like under the bed. I asked one guy one time, where the fuck is Niggerland on the map? I didn't even know I was black until I came to Ireland. The amount of black remarks and stuff. And I grew up being a very stubborn kid, trust me, and I never let shit like that grow. They tried to bully me in school, in secondary school. I never allowed this. I am always in detention, always fighting back, always fighting bullies. Because I just won't allow anyone to treat me like shit. And the funny thing is that, in my own opinion, I don't think Ireland was very, very racist back in the day. They were, because I've been here 22 years. When I first moved to Ireland, I happened to be one of the first black generation in Ireland, because like I said in my previous video, my mom is the first woman in Ireland to have an African restaurant and such, And growing up in Ireland, back in the day, you remember when I used to push my little sister in the buggy, 8 out of 10 people at least, we wave, we see hello, they're like, this is new. They have, everything looks strange and new to everyone. But you see those 2 people, they will make life so difficult for you and such, But now I think it's actually the other way around. Things have changed so much nowadays because racism is not in plain sight anymore. Because why? Technology. That's my own belief. Technology. One, cameras. There are cameras everywhere. So whatever action anyone do, you can get caught on camera. So they do it a different way. We have mobile phones everywhere. So people get recorded and stuff, So because of technology, people don't show their true colors physically anymore. People show their colors only in a workplace. They make sure maybe you don't get promotions and stuff. I have great experience on this and I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to talk about issues I faced in an employment industry, in a workplace basically. So these are issues that the ways people can get you, that you don't grow, and I'm sure many people will be able to talk about this and share their own experience or their stories. There are many stories that we can share on this, but these are examples of what and why we are setting up Rant, so people can come in to express their feelings, to express their experiences. And we need you to listen. If you don't listen, maybe you're part of the problem. Sure, you would have friends that will come up to you. Oh yeah, sure, I'm your friend. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not racist. Yeah, I can understand your reason for saying that. You're my friend, but what are you doing to help people like myself that is your friend not to feel like this, not to face issues like this? What are you doing to support and help? We are in this together. Okay? So, don't just tell me that you're my friend and you have no issues with it. I need you to support in every way. Use your privilege. Use your white privilege to help and support. So, I'll give you another example before I go into the next thing. You see, I met an Irish girl. It was in July last year at a party in Belfast. I actually went to that party to help my brother out do some job, you know. And the funny thing is, I actually went up to chat up this girl. She was a little bit tipsy. And she asked me what I do for a living. I told her I was setting up a TV show, something to do with CSI, Common Society Issues. And a little bit about what this was about. And she started pouring out her life stories to me. She started telling me stories of her life. Okay, so I will share this with you. I'm not going to mention her name for her own safety, but it's better I share this story so that you people out there can make a change, you know? She's 24 years old, 24, 25 years old, something like that, and she's from Dublin, Clondalkin in Dublin. She has a twin sister, and she comes from a family of 8 children. She told me that her twin is a girl, and she has 3 other sisters and 3 other brothers. So the 3 men, 3 women, and 2 other young girls. So they're the last born of the family. Okay? And she told me that she's been dating a black guy for about 5 years, since she was 19 or so. And just about 6 months before we met last July, she told me that her father found out about this. And for that 5-year relationship, she never shared this information with her family. But when her father found out about this, her father seized the car that he bought for her daughter, seized the car from her, locked her up in the house for that 6 months, okay, and made sure she didn't go to work. So she lost the job. The father also seized her mobile phone to make sure she has no contact with the outside world. And she was locked up for 6 months in her own house. The day I met her in Belfast, she told me that was her first day coming out. And that's why she had to drink alcohol and just share a story with someone, a rage with someone, you know. And what she told me was, my father locked me up because I was dating a black man. And he told me he's been warning us that you must never bring a black man home. You must never date a black man. They're disease. They're this, they're that. They will make you a single mother. They're cheaters. That's all they do. They will make you a single mother. I don't want any single mother in my family anymore. And she was laughing about that because she said to me, 2 of her older sisters have 2 children each. So she has like 4 nieces and nephews from her 2 older sisters. And guess what? They're both singles from their Irish fathers. So I don't actually understand the point of this father. You know, you tell me what you think. Now, I'm sharing this story with you to ask you, my Irish fellows, my white Irish fellow brothers and sisters, mamas and papas, grandpas, everyone. What do you teach your children at home? What do you talk to your children about black people at home? Please, we want to know, because this is how we're going to actually start resolving these issues. You know? So this is why I'm raising this question out there. What do you tell your children at home about black men? What do you tell your children at home about race? What do you tell your children at home about equality? What do you tell your children at home about discrimination? I want to know. The good white people want to know. Oh my God. Is Ireland a racist country? I don't know how to answer this question. I certainly can't say Ireland is a racist country, or maybe I can say they're a racist country. But we can work together to change this whole idea. We can work together to have a better future. So before going into some changes I would like to see, okay, in Ireland, and some changes that we can actually make in Ireland, I would like to rant about some point first of all, okay? And one of the points is, why aren't white musicians around the world singing about race equalities? You know, I haven't seen much white musicians maybe singing about race equality around the world, you know, and to use their platform and use music to bring unity to the world. Don't quote me wrong on this. I may be wrong. Maybe I haven't come across those type of music or such. And if I'm wrong, please share some link in below. Share some music below. Please share. I would love to see this. You know, we've seen examples like, you know, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, all the black musicians growing up, you know, singing about, you know, race equality, singing about equalities in the world, discrimination and all of that. You know, this song like, we had a world, we had a children. I don't even know. There are many, many, many different songs like that, you know, but I can't think of any white musician that have maybe done such. I could be wrong, so please, like I said, share any link on any information that you have about this below. And please, don't think I'm ignorant if I haven't come across anything. Please don't take this as being ignorant or anything like that. I can't know simply know every musician in the world, you know, but we want to help, we want to push this type of music as well, you know, to help white people around the world to understand about equalities, you know, and discrimination. So let's use the music platform to preach about these things. So this is one of the rants. And the second point I would like to add on to this is that why aren't the media helping on these issues at all, but instead had fuels to how blacks are viewed by whites? You know what I'm talking about without even going into too much context. You know exactly what I'm talking about. How you guys view us. Let's start to reason and let's start to think. How can we change this? Okay? And the third point I have is, what are white people teaching their children about race, equalities, compassion? You know? I would love to know. What are you teaching your children? I have a lot of videos, actually, I can share regarding this whole idea, you know, and what I think and about how this is actually happening in the society today. But I will leave this for the next few episodes because they are topics we're going to talk about, okay? And I believe this is the way forward and how we can change this. So, stop being the mouse and let's face our own demons, okay? Stop being the mouse and let's face our own demons. So in the meantime, I'm going to share a couple of points with you on what changes I want to see, okay? What changes we all want to see. And collectively, we can make this happen. This is how you can help us. Okay? 1, let's focus on the issues Ireland is facing regarding racism. Okay? Let's focus on that issue alone. What can we do? How can you help? Okay? Number 2, medias should stop portraying blacks as disease, violent, lazy, thieves, cannot be trusted. And any media that do so should be set as an example. Don't you think that would be a right thing to do? And start making these changes. We can show you a lot of examples in regards to this, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's not be ignorant about this, okay? Number 3, start making superhero movies and start making Hollywood and local movies to include all people of color and all race equally. It is enough that we have the whites dominating what we watch and see growing up. This is white privilege. This alone is white privilege. So you know what I'm talking about. If we can start making movies, okay, and having equality in movies, you see the kids growing up and watching this wouldn't have an issue with race. I believe so. Look at Hollywood today. 95% of movies in Hollywood today is dominated by white privilege. You know what I'm saying? When did we have a black hero movie, Black Panther, just about 2 or 3 years ago? And how many white superhero movies have we had? We can change history. I understand, if we were to look about, white superhero, you look at all the Marvel stories or all the Disney stories and all that, but from now we can change the history. We can change the history. So let's start making changes. You see, I myself, I've written about 28 movies so far, and there's more to write. Okay? This is something I've always been dreaming about. This is something I want to make changes. I want to be a producer and, bring different type of acts on board that would actually send the right message. And I think I've already started this with my story. So number five, what I want to see in changes. Really take your time to learn from people's experience. And you might be inspired to get some changes there. Here on CSI, we will bring a lot of people on board to share their stories and experiences from time to time. So when a lot of white people ask me, how can they help? How can they help? One way to help us is about learning about the things you don't know. Don't be ignorant about it. Listen to shows like this. Listen to information or read information about inequalities, about racism, learn about black people in general, learn about different cultures. Travel out. Don't isolate yourself in one country alone. I understand after the pandemic, I know not many people can travel right now, but when the time is right, travel out and learn about different cultures from different continents, different countries. This is how you can help us and also help yourself. Trust me, and your future generations. So please, instead of asking that question, how can you help us? This is one of those information. So number 6, support any cause relating to this issue. Whatever way you can. There are many ways you can support a cause relating to this issue. Okay? It can be financially, and sometimes it's not necessarily financially. Your support can only be probably sharing content like this so that your other fellow Irish people or fellow white people can hear or learn from it or see this information. Support in every way that you can. If it's something to do with maybe a platform like this, for example, that they may not have enough funding, and maybe by assisting or financially, or maybe it's something that a government department that will be able to help something like this. Trust me, it is difficult for people of color to be able to set up businesses and stuff like that in Ireland or in any country, so to speak. So I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud and I'm just ranting here, as you know yourself. I'm just ranting, but just support us. Find a way to support. That's why I said earlier, if you're watching the show regularly and you're listening to people, not watching the color, listening to what comes out of the mouth, okay? You may be inspired to find a way on how you can actually support and help, okay? So that's that part. Number 7 on how you can help, or the changes I would like to see rather. Love one another. Love one another. Love everything about a black man or people of color. Trust me. Love everything about any foreigner that you ever see. Love anything about anybody that has a different color to your skin. We are all humans. If you cut, we both bleed blood, red blood. I don't bleed black blood. Neither do you bleed white blood. We both have red blood. So let's love one another. Please. That's one of the changes I would like to see. You know, love conquers hate. So please, the only way we can eradicate hate, racism, discrimination is love. Love is very powerful. Number 8, changes I would like to see. We that come from a painful stories, we, people of color, and everyone in general that come from a painful stories, how do we change this narrative? I don't know. This is why I said earlier, we all have to come together and work together. But it will be a good change. How can we create a different narrative? How can we create a different narrative? Number 9. How can we show the world that despite all the wrongs that have been done, we are all still human beings. We are all still human beings. And we are still willing to create bonds between us. We don't have a choice and we cannot live without each other. And it doesn't matter what skin color you have. Okay? So, before we end today's episode, I would like to share a song with you, a music by Asha called Jailer. Okay? I love this song so much because he relates so much to everything that's happening today. And I think you might just like it as well. Okay, so type it on YouTube. This is not my music. It is not my lyrics or anything like that, but I'm just going to sing along with it while I play the music, okay? And if you enjoy the music, please go and search for the music on YouTube. This is not my song. Search for Asha. She owns the music and all the credits go to her, okay? So.
No. Oh, yeah. I'm in chains, you're in chains too. Our uniforms and you are uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Fears too. I'll die, but you self will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast a stone. Mr. Jailer, man, you suppress all my strategies. You oppress every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, you don't care about my point of view. If I die, another will work for you. So you treat me like a modern slave, Mr. Jailer. I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man.
So, that's it from today. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening and watching the first Rant series talk show episodes. Okay, please don't forget to subscribe to CSI Common Society Issues channel. Okay, and we're also creating a group for this on Facebook specifically for Rant talk show series. Okay, sorry about that. So just type in on Google Rant talk show series. Type in on Facebook Rant talk show series, and you'll be able to join the public group there. Okay, this is only new, so don't forget to subscribe to Common Society Issues on YouTube, like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Okay, let's be a part of this change. Thank you so much for today, and we will be back again shortly with another episode. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.